Welcome to another inspiring episode of Moments with Myra, where we have honest conversations that connect us through our shared humanity. Today, we're talking about love, identity, and resilience, and what it takes to live authentically. I'm honored to welcome Guana and Nicki Blackwell, who are joining us to share their experiences navigating life and love as a Black queer couple. Their story is one of courage, commitment, and embracing authenticity. Thank you both for being here.
Absolutely.
So now I know who you are. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourselves and how you guys first met?
All right. My name is, people call me Nikki, but my name is Nikila. Um, I used to, well, actually, I still do work for Pepsi. And there was a Family Dollar that's across the street, but it's no longer there anymore. But that I used to stop at on occasion when I used to go home. And for whatever reason, I stopped one day and she was there. I had never really seen her like that before, but she was there. And we started, like I said, we started talking about, got on the subject of motorcycles and bikes. And I think I gave her my number or whatnot. And it just really, we didn't talk until about 3 months after that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just went from there pretty
She
much.
was she was trying to play hard to get. See, I know. I look, Juana, I know them games. Uh-huh. But it was worth it in the end though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So now at what point did you realize that this relationship was something special?
Probably about 6 months in, after dating about 6 months. We were pretty much together all the time. We're inseparable
Every
after
day.
that. Yeah.
Every day.
So with both of you guys, what qualities do you admire most about each other?
I admire Nikki's big heart and the way she cares for people. Nikki loves caring for people and she's always there. I like the way that she does things around the home. She will Google something in a minute to fix something, but she's gonna make sure she take care of home. And I like the way that she makes me smile.
I love that. And Nikki, your turn.
Like she said, it's really that she does have a big heart. And also what probably I love about her is her determination. Um, when we first met, she didn't have her high school diploma, and I had my master's, but she never told me until I think after she started to go back to school that she didn't have it.
The night of my placement test.
Yeah, so she ended up going back to school, getting a high school diploma, getting her associate's degree, 2 certificates, and her bachelor's degree in 5 years.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you know what, Nikki, that says something about you for her to feel comfortable enough to not only go back, but to be able to express that. Because, sometimes, and especially I think with our culture, we work so hard to get our degrees and do different things. And sometimes when maybe it took a little time for you to decide to go back or whatever, because we know life happens. But for her to get to that point to want to share that with you and be better because of you, I think that's beautiful. And that's the reason why you guys are a good couple. Because, like I was saying before, Nikki, that's the quiet storm. But y'all, don't get it twisted. If she got to roll up and handle something, she will. So I'm thankful that she my sister for that reason. Because I know if I say 911, I got my backup coming. But you guys really do balance each other out perfectly. And so I love that for you guys. Now, we know that every relationship has a unique journey. What has yours taught you about love?
Um, it has taught me how to love because I didn't know how to love. Um, the way I thought I was loving somebody, it wasn't. I can honestly say that Nikki is the first person that I have ever like really been in love with and really loved and wanted to take this journey, to the end of time. And again, you can't love somebody when you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to love yourself. So I had to learn that as well. And she's taught me a lot about love.
Now, with you, Guana, saying that you had to learn how to love yourself, because I went through that exact same journey. Was it hard for you to do it while trying to love her in the best way possible? How did you navigate being able to know that I got to show up for me and take care of me and love on me so that I can be the best woman that I can for her, but also make sure that I'm taking care of her and loving her in the way that she needs to be loved? Was it hard for you to navigate that?
It was. I can honestly say that it was hard because Nikki already knew how to love.
Hmm.
That's part of who she is. So she already knew the importance of how to love. She was brought up like that because her mom and her sister and brother they very close. Her mom was a single mom, so she was already taught how to love. So it just yeah, it was hard, but we went through some things, but we got back on track. So every marriage you go through bumpy roads at some time. So you just have to know how to drive on that road to keep it in the road.
Yes. And so, Nikki, how did you have patience, honey? Because I know it took some patience with you being loving, and that's something that you're used to. And then you're falling in love with somebody that we'll say, as far as love is concerned, maybe a little bit rough around the edges, where that's concerned. How in the world, honey, did you find the patience?
Um, I guess at times it wasn't easy to have
Mm-hmm.
the patience. If you know my wife, I mean, sometimes, she can get up under my skin or she knows how to. But I mean, I'm a patient. Let me take that back. I used to be more patient than I am now. I kid you not. I think the older I get, the less patience I have.
Yes.
But in general, I'm a patient person. I don't like to, how people is gun ho about doing something or saying yes or trying to do something right away. I'm patient. I like to sit back and I like to, think about things. So I'm a patient person. So I think that's how it was, how I or how we are actually still
Still
together.
together. Well, and that lets you know too, honey, that not on just everyday physical level, but even on a spiritual level, that lets you know that you guys were meant to be together, because relationships, any kind of relationship, is going to go through ups and downs, twists and turns, or whatever. And I know them codes to push. And I like pushing codes sometimes just because I feel like I might have needed a little bit more attention or something. So it's gonna definitely take patience. So I commend you for that.
Yes.
Now, as a Black queer couple, have there been unique challenges that you guys have faced that others might not fully understand?
Honestly, have we? Really? The others, it could have. I just didn't care, honestly. But
Yeah.
other than the challenge we had when we got, or for me, is when we got married. A lot of my close family didn't wouldn't come or anything.
Okay.
So um, not all, but some did, and so that was really challenging for me. That they didn't want to come because they didn't, I guess you would say, believe in gay marriage. So,
Mhm.
but other than that, I can't really think of anything.
I think it was another one was that because before it became legal here in North Carolina, a lot of people was doing ceremonies and just doing it. They weren't legally
Mhm.
married. And I told Nikki I refuse to go through that. And we build a life together and we're not legally married, and your family can come in here and it's pretty much, is your
Take
stuff.
over. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we got married in May, we went to Darien, Connecticut and got legally married. So we legally married, in Darien, Connecticut. And then we had a ceremony here. Because we went to Connecticut with just me and her. So here it was our family and friends. So that was kind of challenging because we had to go out of state to prove just to be married,
Legal.
be
Mhm.
legal. Because her job, was that's why I had insurance. So her job acknowledged us as a married couple, but we had to show our marriage license.
Okay. Okay. So we were talking about family a little bit, Nikki. Was how has family embraced you now, and how has that shaped your journey going forward?
Um, Other than that, I mean, my family doesn't, you know, see her, they know who she is to me. They don't treat her any differently.
Hmm.
Well, my mom's passed away and my brother passed away, but my mom was great. My mom was just always great. She told me when I was like in my 20s, when I actually told her about, that I like women, she was like,
Hmm.
I know. She's like, I know. I said, well, I wish you had told me back that you already knew it was difficult. But other than that, my family, it they were great as far as challenging things with them. Pretty much nothing really after we got married. But like I said, they were great. They don't see her, they don't treat her any differently or anything like that. It's still probably getting a few of my aunts to say that's my wife.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still, out on it. But other than that, I mean, my family's great.
And Guana, what about for your side of the family?
Oh, my family's fine with it. They know they tell anybody this is my wife. My biological mom, she's still living, and she, everybody knows that this is her daughter-in-law. She tells everybody that's my daughter-in-law. So my family didn't have, I didn't have what Nikki had in her family. My family accepted her. And before my mama passed, and my dad, they all knew about Nikki, and so they love Nikki. So I never had any issues with that on my side.
I think that's beautiful. So now, because we know the world is how it is, outside of our families, and our families sometimes is somewhat of a controlled environment for us. You know what I mean? Like they might not express it the way we like when they express it, but we get that nod of approval and we just keep on rolling with it. But how do you create a safe space for each other or an affirming space for each other during difficult times?
I can, well, I can honestly say I'm like a firecracker. Nikki is,
The quiet storm. Hmm.
yeah. Um, so when it comes to her, I'm very protective over her. And that's with anybody, family or whatever. I don't care who it is. I'm very protective over her. And I try to make sure she knows that I'm gonna be there regardless, but I don't play about Nikki. Anybody knows I do not play about this one. Like I don't care how much we get into it or whatever else, but when I have to kind of turn up, I will. I will.
With no problem.
No problem. Not even hesitate. Mm-mm.
Now, so, in your opinion, why do you feel like visibility and representation is important for the Black LGBTQ couples? Because I know, like we were talking about earlier, and I remember like when I was a little girl and I had an uncle, Uncle Pete, and this was in the 70s. And I never really thought like, I was a child, so I didn't know like gay, straight, or anything like that. I just knew I had my Uncle Pete, and my Uncle Pete wore a little foundation, nothing too drastic, and my Uncle Pete did the Al Green hairdo, that kind of thing. And I knew that he had a friend, but I didn't think anything about it. And then I think about now that I have friends who are gay and they're able to live out loud and their partnership and everything be out in the open. I think about how it was back then where they had to keep all of that hidden. So why do you feel like visibility and representation is important?
I feel like it's important. Just like you said, when I was little, it was, yeah, I had my uncle, but again, like you said, he had a friend.
Hmm.
But if I had more representation, it would make me come out. And if, as a young lesbian, I could fully come out and I can see, oh, what life can be, I guess you would.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
when we're young, you always think about, okay, I'm gonna marry a man, we're gonna live happily ever after type thing. You don't really think about, oh, I'm gonna marry a woman, or that's
Hmm.
not what you've been taught. So I mean, reputation, people seeing that, I mean, and especially young people, I think it helps them, it motivates them, it helps them to come out, it helps them to be who they are, and to know that, hey, you can marry a woman if you are a woman, or you can marry a man if you are a man, or whatever.
And
That,
just be happy.
yeah.
Yeah, just be happy. Because I like I said, I think about my Uncle Pete, and he's passed on now, but even though you were able to be more free, they never were free. Like when we would go to their house, there was a little bit of freedom, but still not being able to be completely free. So
Right.
that's one thing that that I feel like is important for people to be able to live your life and just get to a place to where if they don't agree with it, I believe everybody has a right to their own opinions, but it is what it is, and just to have that comfort to feel free to be who you are and to love, because it's too much stuff going on in the world now for me to worry about, well, Guana loves Nikki and so loves so-and-so,
Right.
why is that my business? Just love and keep it moving. So that's another reason why I really, really appreciate you guys being on, because I work with a lot of clients that have been suicidal and have all of these different things because they're unable to be who they really, really are. When they come in and they meet with me, they're afraid that I'm going to judge, and I'm the most non-judgmental person that there is, because I have to sweep around my own front door before I be trying to judge somebody else. So that's why I really, really appreciate you guys coming on and representing the community. So now, what misconceptions do you wish people would let go of about queer relationships?
Titles.
Yes, I do hate titles. I mean, as lesbians, you can get your dyke, or you are feminine, or you are, people ask me, well, what am I? I'm just me. I'm just me. I hate titles. I hate titles.
And I love what really confuses people. I have some friends and they're a married couple, lesbians, but both of them are feminine. And so they look at that, well, how are both of them feminine? Because you automatically assume that somebody's going to take on the masculine role and somebody's going to take on the feminine role. But honey, they just threw a monkey wrench in everything, lip glossed out, nails, eyelashes, everything. And so it confuses people when they realize that they are a couple. But that goes back to what we were saying before, sweep around your own front door and judge your own stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something, guys, that you guys need to realize, that you can't judge a book by its cover, because at any given time, I might see Nikki one day and she might have her face beat to the gods and have on some nails or whatever. And then it's the complete opposite, where Guana's more dressed down or more masculine presenting or has masculine energy or whatever the case may be. So just go with the flow and don't worry about it. I think if they could get over the gay part and just learn the person, then everything else will fall into place.
Right.
Nikki used to dress when we first met too. So when we first met Nikki, when I first met her, she was smaller, and we had got together, and was gonna meet up that night. Nikki left in her basketball shorts and her t-shirt and her Timbs, and I was like, okay. So the night I took her to our first date is actually a bike party, because I was in a bike club and my name was Badass.
Okay.
So
and that name makes sense.
So I took her to a party, but when I seen her come to the restaurant that we was meeting at, she came and all I seen was a bustier and heels and these tight jeans. And I was looking, I said, oh, she kind of looked like Nikki, but I just kept on. And then I was looking, I said, Nikki? And she was like, yes. And I was like, because this is the first woman I have ever been with that dressed girly.
Okay.
And also dressed, tomboyish. So I was like, wow, this is gonna be very interesting and very fun, because this is the first I have ever seen. Because she wakes up one moment, she'll be, she wake up one day, she tie on, the next day she'll have, feminine clothes on. And I was like, well, what we gonna wake up as today? What you gonna wake up? But of course, I put weight on her because I used to feed her, so that's why she don't feel comfortable in. But she will still wear some
When I have
female
to.
clothes because we both are Zetas. So sometimes she has to wear if if she has to. She had when I got inducted, she actually had to wear a dress to my induction, the little private. So she had to wear a dress and she did it for me. So she did put a dress on. So that's why I said you never know what a person is like. Now I don't dress tomboyish. I never have since we've been together. I don't know. I just like my girls sitting up and so she can look at me so I can look, so I can catch her eye. So
That's right.
I dress very, sexy when I can for her, but that's why I said you can't just judge a book, and then a lot of people assume when you say you're married, they'll say, well, your husband. And I just let them go for a little bit. And then I said, it's actually my wife. But
Mhm.
again, sometimes you have to watch how you say that because some people are still in that back in the day,
Yeah,
older people. So I kind of respect them more. And they'll say your husband, I just say my spouse. So it's not like I'm telling a lie. I'm just saying my spouse because they're not gonna understand if I say my wife.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
have to kind of watch that with them. But other than that, that's what I'm like. You can't always assume somebody's married to a man.
That's right. And also too, I agree with you when we talk about the older folks and and being respectful because it's 2026 and there ain't no use in us trying to change their
Mhm.
ways of thinking. I respect you and you respect me and we keep it moving.
That's
Now,
right.
before we move on to the next question, I wanted to ask you guys, with you both being a part of Zetas, how was that for you guys joining as a couple? I'm not even talking about just a gay couple, but just as a couple, period. How was that?
Well, I've been a Zeta. I've been a Zeta. I went over Spring '97. It was Sil State mega chapter. So I've been a Zeta for a long time. She went over 24 in 2024. So she's kind of a newbie. So I mean, it was weird at first, but I mean, everybody like a lot of my songs already knew her,
She thought
and
I was a man
I
already.
mean, it it doesn't feel any different, I guess you would say. But yeah, I've been a Zeta for quite a bit now.
Okay, that's cool. I was wondering because I was like, well, how would you even navigate that?
It's funny because we're in the same chapter now because Nikki joined the chapter that I crossed in. Um, so it's funny we be at meetings because they say Blackwell and we're like, which one? So they have to say, say the initials. I just think that's so funny.
Blackwell.
Yeah, because I'd be like, which Blackwell? So that's funny when we go, out and we be in the meetings or something. That's real funny because I'd be like, this is hilarious. But I love
Now, do you guys know, were you guys the first couple like that to join the Zetas, or are there other couples that you know of?
it's other couples
Not that I know of that's
that's
as
on the
couple as
same set.
Zeta.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Zetas,
no,
but
we have some sorors
I'm
that
pretty
are.
sure there probably is, but I don't know of any. I do
Gotcha.
have sorors that are
Mhm.
lesbians that actually are married to another um D9 organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
They may be their wife may be a Delta and then their Zeta, something like that. Yeah, I have friends. We have friends like that, but we don't have any that are, I would say Zeta. Both of them are
Right.
Zetas.
Right.
Okay, because I was going to say, let me find out. I'm breaking news on the history of the couples in the Zetas, girl. Let me find out. So now, getting a little bit serious, what advice would you give to someone struggling to embrace their authentic self, or they're afraid to live in their authenticity if they are in love with someone of the same sex?
Hmm. What advice would you give them? Only thing I would tell them is be who you are, love who you want to love. I mean, honestly, there's nothing else I feel like that I can say to a person other than showing them how it is. I mean, with me and her being together, we're showing them that this is what it can be like. But
Mhm.
other than that, like I said, I tell them to be who you are and just showing them how to be.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing too to go along with that, Nikki, is shutting out all the noise. Sometimes I think it's the noise that makes us even more afraid, worrying about what people got to say
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. I remember growing up, I've always been a full-figured, voluptuous girl, and all my friends was like size 6 and size 7 and size 9. I ain't never in the day ever in my life shopped in the 6, 7, 9 store. Never. I think I was born and I bypassed that and went straight to 10, 12s and up, you know.
Yeah.
But the one thing that helped me too, even from that perspective, is my mom always said to me, okay, as long as you got yourself together, your hair looks good, you're smelling good, you're looking good. If somebody's saying something negative about your weight, if that's all that they can say, then let them say it. And so I said, you know what? And then I discovered little boys, and I was like, you know what? You know, them country boys like them thick. So I was like, hey, I got this right here, you know? So I just encourage anybody to just drown out the noise. And I know that everybody might not have that support system at home that allows them to have that confidence to just be who you are and, you know, basically forget what other people got to say. But I just want to encourage somebody, you know, look in the mirror. If you know you're doing your best and you got yourself together, honey, and that lip gloss is popping, it don't matter who you love or what you do, just embrace yourself, love yourself first, and everything else will fall into place. So
True.
Absolutely.
I could talk forever just about that right there. But look, that's for another time when we can have some wine and, you know, talk off air. But so now, how can allies better support the LGBTQ community, not just during Pride Month, but throughout the year? Is there anything that us regular folk can do to help you guys, you know, as a community feel more loved, more embraced? I know that we have a lot more freedom and a lot more things outwardly to show, you know, to support. But is there anything else that the community that you feel could use from us regular folks to show community and solidarity with the LGBTQ community?
I would say just show respect.
I mean, anything else outside of Pride Month? I mean, whatever we do during Pride Month, wish we could do it all year long. I mean, but it also starts with, you know, with us, with the LGBT community. I mean, I know it's hard for someone that is not LGBT to kind of take the reins and do things, but I mean, it starts with us. Like I said, the things that we do during Pride Month, I wish we could do that year round.
I think that would be good, because I think we're at a place now where it's good to have the celebration for June, you know, for Pride Month. But like you said, all year round, just like it's good that we have Black History Month, but we are Black 365 days a year. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be able to honor that fact every single day, not just Black history. So I like that. And so maybe what we could do sometimes is get together and talk and like plan some little events or different things so that we can start opening up the door to that culture. Because, you know, once we started, because, you know, I'm a Black woman and I feel like everything that we touch turns to gold. So I know if we came up with some kind of little party, because, you know, everybody love to get cute and come out and celebrate, then it could be something that is more regular than just June for Pride. So I think that that's a good idea.
Places to go. I mean, there is nothing outside of Pride Month and you doing things during Pride Month. Outside of that, especially here in Winston, where is it for us to go and just be us and be comfortable? There's nowhere for us to really go and just be comfortable anymore.
Yeah. And what happened to all of the places that used to be available? I know back in the day, let me tell y'all, I went out with my girlfriends who they were gay. And when I tell y'all, we went to the club. What was it called? It was on Country Club. Yes.
It was on Country Club. Yeah.
Girl, honey, they done got me cute, honey. And we had the little drag show. And then, you know, the party after that. When I tell y'all, and here's my hand to God, and I'm not saying that just because y'all are on with me. When I tell you we partied, I don't even remember how I got home. Like, we was throwing down, having a good time. It was the most free that I had ever felt in my life, because I wasn't worried, am I the biggest girl? I wasn't worried about, am I the only Black girl? None of that. It was all love, gay, straight, whoever, just having a good time. So we do need another spot like that, because that's just good fun and good partying. I don't care who you are. But
Oh, and then, like you said, it took away. Nothing is around here anymore unless someone is having a private party or something like that.
Yeah. So
So,
that is something that needs to be done, and it needs to be, especially like on Burke Street or somewhere downtown or something,
Right.
even if you got to find a little spot in the cut or something, but something so that you can go out and have a good time, because that's really the best party I had ever been to. And I was like, when we going back? And they was looking at me like what? I was like, I had the best time. We did. We partied like it was 1999 for sure,
girl,
honey.
yeah, it too.
So now, as we're starting to kind of wind down, what are your hopes and dreams for your future together?
Just to be together. It's to be. We like traveling together. We really want to do a lot more traveling together, even if it's just me and her. Future is just be. We live, we have a nice home. We have wonderful friends. I mean, other than that, just being. Like I said, I would love for us to do a lot more traveling as we get older together.
Yeah, I think that, and create more beautiful memories together too. So, how do you define a healthy and successful relationship? What does that look like to you guys?
What does it look like to you?
I guess putting each other first and open lines of communication.
Yeah, communication is big. Yeah, communication is big. Now, do you guys know each other's love language?
I get- I say, I think hers is what it used to be. What I said was gifts and is it physical touch? I think it was gifts and physical touch is hers.
And Guana, what's Nikki's?
She likes physical touch and God, what's the word? Affirmation.
Yeah, basically.
Affirmations.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I like physical touch, but honey, one thing that's never going to change for me, I love a good gift. It can be a little lip gloss, a little perfume, and it doesn't have to be something expensive, but
Right.
just something to show me that you thought about me.
Yeah.
I'm a French fry girl. So come home and say, baby, I bought you some McDonald's fries. I'd be like, yes, it's going to be on this evening, because I got me some French fries. So it's the simple stuff. And communication definitely is a huge, huge part of that. Now, if you could change one thing about how society views Black queer relationships, what would it be? And the reason why I asked you guys about Black queer relationships is not just because y'all Black, but just because we as Black people always get treated different compared to our counterparts. So is there anything about the way that Black queer couples are treated just in general that you would like to change, or that you would like to see being done better? Or do you think everything is good, or that we've come a long way to where things are better?
I mean, for me, we have come a long way. But
yeah, we're on the TV now.
Huh?
I said, yeah, we're on the TV now.
Yeah.
We on that deep, like Christmas movies, commercials and stuff. I'm like, wow, okay.
I would say we've come a long way. Is it things I can't really think of something like right now, but there are things that I guess I would like to see difference, because sometimes when we go in a place, people know that because of how I dress that we're together, and sometimes people look at us. We're already women, we're Black, and then we gay. Come on. So people do look at us, but even the stares have gotten better. Yeah, they don't really.
They don't say nothing.
But other than that would be it.
And one thing I have to say about you guys, I think the reason why they don't say anything is because when you guys are together, you exude confidence. So it's not even like I look at you guys as, oh, my gay Black friends. That's just Nikki and Guana. They're a couple, period. You know what I mean? Because you exude that confidence, and you're not like walking around like, oh my God, like who's going to see me? Who's going to have something to say or whatever. So I think that plays a part in it too, because you're confident in who you are. And I think that's beautiful, because like you said, as Black people, as Black women, we already struggle enough as it is, and I know sometimes people might be like, well, dang, pick a struggle, you're Black, you're married to a woman, you know, all of that stuff. But because of the way you guys show up, your authentic selves, nobody can hold that against you. In the beginning, they might be like, oh, I didn't know they were a couple. But once they get to know you guys, then that's not even an issue. That's not even a part of the equation. So I think that's the reason why you guys don't have any issues. And I'm thankful for as far as we've come, like you said, with commercials and just everyday living, because that's what y'all doing. Just like me, we just living our Black lives,
Right. Living just like
period.
everybody else is living.
Exactly. So now, as we're starting to close, what legacy do you hope your love story leaves for others?
What legacy do you hope? Okay.
I'm thinking. I just hope that because like I tell people, we can be in here, we can, be fussing, but we hit that door, nobody knows what happened in this house. So I want the legacy to know that you don't have to be perfect for nobody, because we're not perfect. And I want people to know that we still make mistakes. Even after years of being together, we still make mistakes. We take time to fix those mistakes and to get better, but we're not, oh, they don't do that. It's work that we still do with each other and on individually we have to do. I want the legacy to be known as that. Always keep your wife, your spouse first. Open lines of communication and love who you love and not be ashamed of who you are.
Yes. And I really, really love that you said that we are not perfect, because there's many a days when I done pulled up somewhere and he done said something, honey, and I'm thinking, and we right here in the parking lot. And I say what I gotta say, and I get down close to the door and I'm together and smile. But then when we get back in that car, I'm right back on it again. So I think everybody has to be real, because these days it's like, because of social media and stuff, we feel like we always got to be perfect.
Yeah.
And we don't. But that don't mean having everybody in your business either.
Right.
So there's a thin line. So you got to make sure you know how to walk that line, honey, because people be waiting. They be waiting to see one little inch, one little crack to see. Well, I like the way Nikki treat Guana. I wonder if, look, and they never thought about being with a woman a day in their life. But because they see the way that she treats you and you treat her, what people don't realize is that's y'all's thing. That don't mean that if y'all got with somebody else that they was gonna get the same treatment that the other one was given. You know what I'm saying? So people, y'all, we just got to be real about that thing. Everybody falls short in some kind of way. Keep people out of your business. And like she says, argue like cats and dogs if you got to at home or in the car. But when you close that door, you are a united front. And that's the most important thing. Now, finally, what does having a moment with Myra mean to each one of you guys?
It means a lot. We have come to love you, Myra. You are super sweet. And you are just so generous. I mean, you are a nice person. Even if we purchase something from you, you give us stuff free. I mean, you're very generous. You are such a sweet person. And I mean, that's all.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, you are the sweetest, and that's why I always try to promote and let people know that you gonna out. Like we got our basket. I was going around DSS. I was like, y'all see my basket I got for my anniversary? This is my basket. They open it up. I said, no. I said, I can't open it up. I said, but I can get you one made.
She did tell people about your basket.
But I've never met somebody just as sweet as you. You are just the sweetest. Like I can go on and on about you, and I tell everybody that you are sweet, that you are mine, that you are ours. change that. I say mine, but you are ours. So,
And Terry, I used to say that's my person.
I said that's our person. That's our person.
I know, and that's what she said. She said, "Well, sissy, I guess I'll share you with the Blackwells, but I ain't sharing you with nobody else." But I just appreciate you guys for being on with me. I appreciate your openness. I appreciate your friendship and love. I appreciate how me and Guana be talking junk to each other because she be slipping me extra stuff and I'll be slipping her extra stuff. And I really, really appreciate you guys as a couple because, like I said, with my podcast, I just want to show all sides of people. You know what I mean? Because I feel like everybody needs to have a voice. You know, they need to be able to speak their truth, whatever it is. And I always want this to be a safe space for that to happen. So I really, really appreciate you guys being here with me tonight.
You're welcome.
So, Guana and Nikki, thank you for trusting us with your story. Your openness, honesty, and love reminds us that every person deserves to be seen, respected, and loved for who they are. I know your conversation will encourage others to embrace their authenticity, deepen understanding, and celebrate love in all of its forms. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us for another episode of Moments with Myra. Conversations touched your heart, inspired you, or helped you see a new perspective. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, remember that every moment is an opportunity to lead with compassion, choose understanding, and love without limits. Take care and God bless.